PETERBOT is the best player in the world at the moment by an absolute country mile. He's got some of the fastest mechanics we've ever seen in Fortnite, the best aim in the game at the moment, as well as he tends to just read people's minds and takes out pros with ease every single fight. Now, even the best pros can't even compete with a single aspect of PETERBOT's game, but there is one thing that any player watching this video can do, and that is copy his game plan. And this is the exact same game plan and structure that he used every single solo game. No matter if he's solo clutching during the global championships or he's just playing a cash cup and trying to drop a 30 bomb, he does the exact same plays every single game. I'm going to show you guys in as much detail as possible how you can play like him in solos. For PETERBOT's drop spot, he's of course landing a brutal box cars right here, and the key thing that he's aiming for is this north hand side. However, this game he gets contested on the north, and very crucially he spots this somebody down here to the south. So rather than risking having a long drawn out fight where he maybe lands at this building and then pushes over towards the opponent when there's a third party nearby, instead he just goes ahead and straight up 50-50s. And this is one big thing: if you guys outdrop somebody, always try to just contest the floor spawn they're going for, so you can get the fight done as quick as possible. The opponent does a good play which is landing up here in the bush, but PETERBOT does a better play which is landing early and then sliding towards the floor spawn so you can get there first, and he's able to win this 50-50, get himself a little bit of mats and go ahead and very quickly loot up. And the main reason he's landing on this north hand side, this is a lot quicker to loot up compared to the south, as well as the fights don't take quite as long, which allows him to hop straight onto the train. So the train is going to go ahead and rotate through here every single game. It's the exact same thing in trios as well, and then all he needs to do is open the train, gets loads of metal from that, as well as the extra 4 chests that spawn on the train itself, and he does a couple nice things as he loots up, as he goes ahead and grabs extra blobs, and by the time that he opens this chest, he's ended up in this metal area where he can get cap metal. So now by the time he opens up this train chest, he's able to get loads of metal from this, a mythic AR, which is obviously super nice, and he's going to immediately make a beeline for a shrine nearby. And shrines, you guys haven't watched my last video, are so important for solo success this season. I'd really recommend you guys within the first 2 minutes of the game prioritize getting a shrine, and the way PETERBOT does that is just farms up wooden brick on the way, and then he's going to be in a really good map position in case he gets contested on the shrine. Now, just because PETERBOT is a really good fighter doesn't mean that he doesn't focus on zone positioning, and he does a really good job of it this game. As you can see right here from this zone pool, is pulling down to the south. There's loads of water in the bottom south, there's lots of area down here where zone's likely to pull into. It's exactly what happens this game. So he prioritizes getting deep on the south hand side of the zone as early as possible. So within the first 5 minutes of the game, he's already making his way down to where the later zone's gonna be pulling, which allows him to have a really easy time mid game. If you guys suck at solos, it's probably because you're being too slow off spawn like all these other players, and you're gonna end up on congested side for the entire game, wasting all your shield, wasting all your mat, and having a very difficult time of rotating. Whereas PETERBOT is able to rotate and maintain cap mats the entire way through, as well as this insanely good loadout, which he's going to use here in a second to get in some fights. Now, when it comes to these fights, I've already done loads of videos breaking down PETERBOT's fights, but there's 3 things that he does very, very well when it comes to fighting in these stacked top 600 games where the average skill is so much higher. Like, the people he's keying are actually pretty good players with earnings. The first thing that he does is reload management, and then the next thing is just crosshair tracking. So whenever somebody does, a mistake in a fight, if your crosshairs on them, you're able to punish them for that mistake straight away. So as you can see, this guy went ahead and accidentally pumped that build trying to catch PETERBOT off. PETERBOT blocked it. He's immediately able to get the 100 tag in return, and then really simply just crosshair track the enemy. Make sure you're always spraying and breaking the builds that they're actually in, and you're not letting them run away. So rather than getting caught out in a situation like this, because PETERBOT's crosshair tracking him, he knows exactly where the guy is. He gets underneath, and again, just like I was saying, reload management is genuinely so important this season, because right here, PETERBOT makes a mistake in edits. If you take a look, he has no shotgun bullets, so he needs to reload. Other guy still has shotgun bullets, and he's decently healthy as well. He could easily lose this fight if he does a bad edit right here. Instead, he lets the opponent get shotgun delay, so shotgun lock themselves. Then he goes ahead and edits after he's reloaded and gets a very free kill on a very good player right there. Then in this next fight, PETERBOT does another few things absolutely perfectly, as you can see right here. This is a really common mistake that people do in fights, is they get straight on a wall-to-wall situation and start pickaxing, which is something you should really try to avoid, because if you were to just pickaxe on this straight wall, the guy can just do a window peek, a top right peek, and get a shot on you straight away. So what PETERBOT does is he approaches the weak wall where the guy is going to have to do an edit from a left-hand peek. So he goes to his right, which means it's to the enemy's left. So he swings, and now when the guy goes to do an edit, as you can see, PETERBOT's already got his pickaxe out and ready. He's able to take that wall, and exact same as earlier, he has the reload management, so when he gets in the box, he's not out of bullets, so he's not wasted his bullets beforehand, and he's able to get a nice free kill and get himself stacked for the end game, as you can see right here. And when it comes to these partial zones, PETERBOT follows the exact same plan every single game. And the first step of that plan is just get a little bit of info before you go. He doesn't always go instantaneously as soon as zone pops. He scouts for a second, he looks what other people nearby are doing, and then he tries to go pretty early, so within around 10 seconds of the zone swapping. This is so important, so you're not getting caught up on the backside like all these other people are. Instead, he's now in a really easy position, and he's able to have a lot of visibility from this center zone spot. He doesn't just stop though at this point, which I think is really important. Instead, he keeps on going early, which is genuinely so crucial for how he plays this game out. So as you can see, he goes nice and early, he tanks a couple ticks getting into the end zone. But as you can see from the zone right here, he is literally the first player into the current zone every single time. And this is so important for his success in solos and basically every mode as well, because, you know, basically the best duos and the trios player in the world at the moment. And the main reason he does this, guys, is to get refreshes and to get loot. Even though right here you might be thinking, oh, he's pretty good on mats, he maybe needs a siphon kill, he always is trying to get kills and set himself up to be the most stacked player in the lobby. And how does he do this? By being the first one into the end zone and the first one looking back for kills. And a big misconception of refreshes is that it needs to be you box fighting and killing somebody. But a lot of the time, refreshes just come from being the first one into zone and then spotting somebody who dies as they do a bad rotate like that other player. You can see that guy got killed on the rotate. PETERBOT straight away goes over, claims all of the loot, and now he gets a nice little refresh. He gets an extra big for himself to heal himself up a little bit, and he's in a really good position. And when it comes to moving zones, PETERBOT keeps it the exact same every single game. And the main reason for doing this is it makes it really simple to follow and not make mistakes each time. The first thing that he does on moving zones is he splits the zone up into 2 rotates. So rather than just doing one long rotate or doing a bunch of little mini rotates, he does 2 sort of medium distance rotates involving the TP mask, the Oni mask, of course. The first thing that he tries to do is go on the edge of zone and not go too far with his Oni mask. He's not just throwing like a max distance one up in the air where he's going to get beamed behind. He does a little mini rotate, and the main reason he's going to the edge right here is now there's nobody behind him, there's nobody really in front of him, because of course the zone's expanding up this way, and it allows people to not take any storm ticks unnecessarily, as well as it allows him to have a really easy time of doing his next rotate, which is really, really crucial. This next one is the most important one. So the first one is just a nice little mini rotate into the edge of zone, so now he's got a very easy time of being the first one, or one of the first people into the end of moving zone. So let's watch how he does it. He does a nice little high TP, pops it before it goes too high in this guy so he doesn't take any damage, and immediately gets himself into the end of zone right here. And let me just pause the zone for a second if you guys take a look. As you can see, he is one of maybe 5 people that's in the end of zone right here. As you can see, he's in the end of zone, he's boxed up. And the really crucial thing with this is there's about 20 other people in the game who are either next to him or about to rotate through him on this congested side of zone. All of these players are going to run straight past PETERBOT's box, and he's going to have a very, very easy time of getting refreshes from this position, exactly like you see right here. As well as the key thing of being the first one into the end of moving zone, guys, is you have so much time to look for a kill. He has like 20 plus seconds, maybe 25 seconds, including the next zone, to look for a kill, which is really, really crucial. So you're not just spending 5 seconds looking for a kill when you rotate late. Instead, you're spending 20 plus seconds every game, every moving zone, looking for a kill. And he's able to do that. He catches somebody unaware that the wall is low. He's able to spray through, get the replaced when the guy's not looking, and he gets a very free kill right here. And the key thing, as soon as he gets this kill, is he scouts for a second and then immediately just claims all the loot and wastes materials getting onto the loot right here. And this is when he does a very, very nice play for second moving, which I'll break down in a second. Now, of course, the main issue when you do plays like this and you get refreshes end of first moving, especially when you're the first one into zone, is you tend to have pretty bad zone positioning. So if I zoom in right here and play it for a second, as you can see, everybody else is deeper into zone, which is actually really good. If you're super stacked on mats, you should try to be deeper on zone, because now as second moving pulls, no matter where second moving pulls, you have an easy time of rotating if you're much deeper on zone, like all these other players up here on the north side up. So as you can see, zone pulls far, which for PETERBOT, because he's backside, he was getting refreshes, even though he got the refresh and he got stacked off it, he's in a pretty bad spot to do this rotate. And this is when he does another really, really smart thing. He tries to do a quick little TP rotate from backside. He realizes this is way too scuffed, way too congested. Everybody's blocking him. So what does he do? He runs back into Storm and uses some of those whites that he got from the player that he just killed, and actually gets himself a really easy rotate to do. And this is one thing I'd recommend if you guys ever in a tough spot to do a rotate and you've got an Oni mask, just tank Storm backside if you've got whites, and then go ahead and do a really easy rotate just like this that PETERBOT does. And the key thing you'll notice again with this rotate is he is sticking to an edge of zone, like this rough giggly guy up here, like these other players. Instead of being in the center right here like the Snowy James, instead he's actually on the edge of zone, which makes it really easy to do this next rotate that he's going to do. And this is one thing that I think everybody watching this needs to learn, is you don't always need to use mobility to rotate. You can just do a little sprint rotate. Right here he spots a perfect timing, nobody's looking at him, he's sort of middle of zone, he's on the edge, nobody's really looking at him, and he's able to do an absolutely perfect rotate. He uses wood to, you know, build the partial rotate, and then he swaps to brick as he comes into the end of zone. And now this is a really, really important thing. You shouldn't always be getting refreshes at the end of zone, because then you become very predictable. You don't catch people off guard because they're probably expecting it as often. Instead, what PETERBOT does here is he looks for refreshes mid-moving zone for a period of time. As you can see, he looks for refreshes, he ends up getting this guy killed right here, but he doesn't risk going for that loot since it's not really safe to do that. Instead, what he does is just prioritizes having a good rotate and being one of the first people into the end of zone. And exactly like I just said, where if you're really stacked on mats, you want to be deeper on zone, look what PETERBOT does. He goes as deep as possible, even tanks a couple ticks front side right here to be the deepest one in zone. And also, again, very similar to earlier, he's one of the first people into this moving zone. He's not boxed up on congested side right here like all these other players. Instead, he's way deeper on this zone, which is going to mean that he's got way easier time time of doing the next part of this game, which I want to talk about in a second. Now, at this point, PETERBOT has around a 10-second window where he can look for a kill before zones start kicking him out, which is actually really important. It's the reason why he went very deep towards center of zone right here. Is rather than being boxed right here, then only having maybe 5 seconds to look for a kill before zone kicks out, he's got a longer period of time to look for that kill. Exactly what he does. And exactly like earlier, guys, the number one way I'd recommend going for a refresh is awareness checks. So either when somebody's not looking at their wall and their wall's low HP, you can take it very quickly, or the most common and probably the best method, the method that PETERBOT used to get the most refreshes in this cup, I think more than half of his kills came from this exact same method, is awareness checks on somebody's floors. As you can see, this Fortnite goat right here is distracted. He's looking for kills on his wall. And what does PETERBOT do? Take a look at this out. Gets the staring, he gets the floor edited in as well. And it's nothing to do with ping, nothing to do with anything like that. It's literally just awareness. This guy wasn't looking at his feet, and that meant PETERBOT was able to take it and hit 100 right here. But if you pay attention, just quickly, what does PETERBOT not do in this situation? He does not get greedy going for this kill, because none of these edits are his. It might be very risky. He might, this guy could be doing a nice peek over here. And even though this guy's 1 HP, it's still not a good play to run into this box chasing that kill. Especially if you guys are paying attention right now, there is a new zone. The zone has just swapped. The zone klaxon has gone off, which in PETERBOT mind tells him that he needs to immediately rotate. And he does a really, really nice play right here that I want to break down for you guys, and I'd really recommend you guys do this play every single time. As soon as zone swaps, he gets a little bit of info, just has a look that there's nobody looking at him right here, and he does a nice simple wood rotate, gets up a layer so he's not on the same layer as this guy, and goes ahead and does this really, really common play, and play I'd really recommend you guys learn, is the Taysom box. So a Taysom box is basically a 2x1, but instead of having, cones and things everywhere, you just have a stair blocking your back to save materials, and also you've got no cones on top, so you can actually look up easier. And the key thing that he does is, as soon as he does this Taysom box, is he looks up through the stair. He holds the stair at it, looks up, spots there's nobody up on height, and what do you know? Fortnite GOAT returns right here. And this is a really important lesson for you guys. Just because you hit somebody 100 during endgame and you maybe want to get the kill, doesn't mean you should commit for the kill. What tends to happen, if you rotate front side and get yourself in a good position after you hit somebody low, you're going to find another kill. Either that player is going to run into you because they're healing up backside, or what's going to happen is the person that kills that player is going to run into you, and you're going to get a double refresh more often than not. And right here, what does he run into? The Fortnite GOAT. He's able to take the wall, does a shotgun replace right there. Of course, he's got good reload management. Then he does a very nice play, which is the scroll wheel reset. So now Fortnite GOAT has got the little delay on his shotgun. He's not quite ready for it. And then PETERBOT finishes the fight with a nice simple right hand peek. Takes a little bit of damage, but this is the main reason why that Taysom box is so crucial. Is whenever you're back here fighting for a kill on this back stair, like he was just there, you have a whole extra box worth of time, which is so important in endgame. Timings in endgame are the most important thing, which brings me on to my next point, which is really, really, really important for winning games this season, guys. Now, at this point in the video, I want everybody watching this, if you watch this on the day that I released the video, or 2 months from now, or whenever you watch this video, I want you to write down in the comments what PETERBOT should do next. So let's just take a look at his situation. He's got back to 200 HP. He's got, pretty good ammo, not really that important. He's got enough ammo for what he's going to do next, as well as he has got loads of materials from that single refresh that he just got, as well as that refresh that he got on first moving. What should PETERBOT do next, guys? And this is really, really important. I've been making videos explaining this exact same concept for like 4 years now, ever since I made the Solos Masterclass. It's genuinely so important you learn what to do next, because it's going to be the difference for you getting, top 5 maybe, if you have a good game, compared to winning every single game on repeat and potentially making earnings. And hopefully you've written it down in the comments by now, because it is super obvious to me, and so whenever I was doing this live and watching it on stream, that he should take Kite. And the main reason he should take Kite is he has mat advantage on both these other players. On Scrabble right here, who's having a little bit of a difficult time. On Storm right here, who's got 17 builds. He has more mats than both of the other players up on height. All he needs to do is get above these other players, and he's got a really easy time of winning the game. Let me go watch another game example where PETERBOT follows the exact same game plan structure for early, mid, end game, but he does a different height take that I want you guys to learn, because the different height take that he does is a lot more of a common situation that you're going to find yourself in. Really, really important, guys. As soon as you get a refresh, you start thinking about high ground. Now, in this next game, you're going to notice that PETERBOT's game plan is the exact same as the one before. He goes ahead and is the first one deep into zone right here, so you can build this 2x1. Takes a couple ticks doing it, and now you'll notice he's literally in the best position possible. He's got loads of time to look for a kill and look for a refresh. So how does he get this refresh? Exact same strategy as earlier. He's going to awareness check people by shooting out their floors. Like this guy is not looking at his feet. PETERBOT's able to replace the stair. And at this point, the guy can't react in time and get his own cone held. PETERBOT gets the stair in, and he absolutely pieces this guy out, and he goes ahead and does a bunch of really nice peeks. constantly making sure he's doing good right hand peeks. And then finally, this guy decides to whip out the Xing Xing and almost kills PETERBOT, because unfortunately that's in the game at the moment. However, PETERBOT's a very, very good call. Exactly like earlier, he's in a scuff position. There's loads of people blocking him. He shouldn't run out through these other people. Instead, take a look what he does. He goes out the back exactly the same as before. After the refresh, use some of the whites that you've got, you know, blobs in this case, maybe the siphon that you've got ticking potentially. Use that to go ahead and do a good rotate and go over everybody and get yourself into a good position. And exact same as before, he's also trying to stick to the edge, not being dead center of zone as well. Now for the next kill, he does the exact same thing as earlier. He spots somebody who's not aware of his feet. This guy's, you know, pretty shambles, not aware that it's not his bottom, and he's able to get a very, very free kill. And at this point in time, he is insanely stacked on mats. All he needs to go ahead and do is start thinking about that height take, which I'll show you guys how he does at this game. Before we go into the next height take, I want to tell you guys about the first earnings blueprint. And the best part about this is it's completely free to access. You're gonna be learning exactly how to flank height in solos, how to go ahead and take height from restart, as well as loads of other really useful videos. You want to get better at solos, this is absolutely perfect for you. And again, the best part is it's completely free. So just click the link down below, sign up, finish this video, and then you can go watch all of these amazing videos completely for free on the masterclass website. So now this next height take is a little bit different, and this is a more common height take that you probably have to do in a solo game. So the exact same setup as before. He's on a high layer, he's done this Taysom box with this backward stare, and what he does with the Taysom box is holds the stare and looks up at height. And the really key thing with this box and why it's so strong, and this is why Taysom 1-2 to DestinysJesus is doing this exact strat every single moving zone, is because you can chop out height without height being able to shoot you. So if we go to the player up on height, so Cooper right here, global champ from last year, he's not able to see PETERBOT. He's not able to counter this chop out because of course PETERBOT is completely protected. Then the next thing that PETERBOT does, which is really, really important guys, is whenever you try to go for height, unless the guy on height has like 0 mats, you need to get damage onto the other player. So as Cooper goes ahead and does the reset for the TP and he starts falling down, PETERBOT prioritizes getting damage on the other player, which is really important. So now Cooper is basically forced to either try to go for height when he's low HP or just heal up and play mid ground. Exactly what happens. PETERBOT aggroes him even further, forces him to drop, forces him to basically commit down to mid ground since he's got no mats at this point. And now PETERBOT's got a really easy time of holding height. All he needs to do is set his TP and he's got a very easy time of, you know, getting a top 2 this game and basically bringing it down into the final zone situation in a second here. Now one very big misconception that people have in solos is that you have to take height at a specific time, like first moving, second moving, third moving, to actually win the game. And this couldn't be further from the truth. In my opinion, you can take height whenever, as long as you do it in the correct fashion. So as you can see right here, PETERBOT just got a refresh, so he's pretty stacked on mats. He gets the exact same thing as earlier. He goes front side, he gets towards the end of zone, then he gets another kill right there in terms of somebody dying right on his wall, as you can see. So he didn't commit backside to get that kill. Instead, he waited for the guy to come front side, gets another kill, gets all of the materials, all the wood and brick from this player right there. And what does he do as soon as he gets those refreshes? Is he has a look at height, as you can see, has a little look at height, spots that player up on height is shambles, only building wood, does the exact same chop out play that I just mentioned, and now he's got height in the final zone situation, guys. It is so important that you learn this exact same structure of your game, so no matter what zone it is, whether it's first moving or final moving, you can execute this every single time and you can win more games. Now, very easy 1v1, he's got more mats than other players, so he takes height, exactly the same as earlier, and he just goes ahead and plays a nice little storm peak, pretty Mr. Savage-esque right there, and he's able to take the win and get himself second in the cash cup and netting himself $3,000. I definitely think PETERBOT's one of those players that's going to win multiple of these cash cups going forward in the future. All right, that is all for this video, guys. Again, make sure to go check out the first earnings blueprint. There's literally 10 whole lessons in here that are completely free to use, and it is one of the best resources out there. Again, if you want to get your first earnings, you want to get better competitive, you want to start learning how to play the game properly, this is absolutely perfect for you, and you can access it completely for free. So go check it out down below, and if you want to watch some more comp videos, including my last full solo guide on bolts, then click the link on screen right now.